Pod Chef. Pod Chef. You're listening to Pod Chef. When I say pod, y'all say chef. Pod Chef. You listening to Pod Chef. It's a podcast about Top Chef, and that's a broadcast.
You are listening to the only official Top Chef podcast. This is Pod Chef. It is many imitators, but there's only one originator, and that is this podcast. I'm your host, Jamal, and with me always is my co-host, Reaves. Say hello to the nice people who chose to listen.
Hey, everybody, listen to our podcast. Don't listen to any other podcasts. Just listen to ours, especially other ones that might be Top Chef related. Don't listen to those.
Yep. Brian's also here. So let's talk about some stuff. Go ahead, Brian. Say hello.
I was trying to think of something funny to say, but I didn't have anything, so I'm glad that you skipped me.
Yeah. So, host knows best. Brian is here. Brian has some big Hollywood news that he shared with me right before the recording today. Brian, share with the people. I mean, we might not be doing this podcast anymore. Share with the people what happened.
Do you want me to talk about that email thing that I got?
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's a pretty big deal.
Okay, yeah, this is a huge deal. This is clearly going to mean something.
Yeah, we're kind of a big deal.
So 100 years ago, Jamal and I wrote a screenplay called Stoned Dead. It's about
3 years ago.
It's about two stoners who smoke a J that's got some stuff on it. Don't want to give the whole thing away, so you don't know stuff. And it brings the dead back to life. And we've put it out to some places. We've had some people talk to us about it, and people seem to be lukewarm on it.
Hollywood insiders, lukewarm.
It is, yeah. Hollywood can't stop. What's not the opposite of buzzing, but the middle of it?
Murmuring.
Humming?
Yeah,
They're humming.
Solid
We're
hummer.
creating a hum.
Yeah, we created a Hummer, and people are loving it.
I'd give a Hummer if this thing got made.
So it's on Coverfly, which is this website that it's just like hosts your screenplay. And I got an email this afternoon saying that an industry professional has downloaded our project.
Yeah. So if you're listening, days are numbered. Probably not going to be doing this much longer. Probably be too big to do it. Reaves might still do it.
Yeah, there's no chance of that happening.
So enjoy it while it's still here, because the minute that someone says, "Hey, we want to do more than talk," that takes precedent over this talking.
Yeah, this is over.
This will be done. And so we're kind of cushioning that blow now to let you know that we will break up with you if we become too big.
So go ahead and give us our flowers now.
Yeah, so give us our flowers now. You can leave them at the zoo. I'll go see them when I take one of my boring walks there that no one wants to talk about.
I have a question about this download. Like, what does that entail? Does it just mean they can you see if they actually read it, or
No.
if they're no?
This is a Hollywood talk where they're reading our script and they're giving someone else a download of our script. Yeah, it's a huge deal. And like I said, days are numbered. I don't know if we'll get through this season, if I'm being quite honest with you.
Did they tell you the name? Is the name like J
Monkey Paw Productions?
It should be Judd A. S. Rogan. Oh gosh, how great would that
Jordan
be?
P.
Yeah, Jordan P. It does say in the email, our industry professionals have asked to remain private by default.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to receive unsolicited material, as in they won't want me to send them pictures of my butt.
You know what?
Which I'll do. Which I will instantly do.
Yeah.
Any Hollywood connection, get a picture of the rump.
Yep. We also have interest from a D. Washington, so that's pretty cool.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Yeah.
George Washington.
George Washington.
D. George Washington.
George
Washington. Yeah, it's a big deal. And if you're listening to this, I mean, really should tell your friends to get on this, because this might be ending soon. And you want to be there when we then pivot to something else, and you want to follow us. So you want to get there. So follow Pod Chef Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. Reaves right now is time traveling. He's here, but he's not here.
That's right.
And that is the sound of his time travel machine. Reaves
That's
is
me
here, but
speaking
he's
to
not
you
here.
from the future.
Yeah,
actually.
and that's the ripple effect that happens when you do that.
That's
Reaves,
right.
where are you that we're talking to you from right now?
So in this moment, I am on vacation in Hawaii, soaking in the sun, taking in some waves, getting sunburnt. All of the things are happening right now because through the magic of podcasting, we're able to record one ahead of a time that I actually go on vacation. And you are listening to it while I am somewhere else. Isn't that special?
Do you think you'll become one of those fun people who go to Hawaii and then come back and go, we went to Hawaii?
I think there's 110% chance that will be me.
Okay.
That sounds like something I would be and I would do. Yeah, I've never been. My wife hasn't been either. I know, Jamal, you've been.
Yeah, I've been.
Bryan, you've been too, right?
I have not.
Can I tell you another boring story?
Oh, I wish you would.
When I went to Hawaii when I was I 15, 16? When I went at the beach, as I'm swimming, I look up and literally, I don't even know how it snuck up on me, but there's a huge sea turtle right next to me, like eating, like I guess moss off the rocks that are right there by the coral. And I was like, how did I not see this thing? I mean, it was massive. It was massive.
And then you killed it, right? Because you were like,
they got the soft shell.
Spoiler alert, folks. Yeah. If you want to know how I got my turtle wallet, now you know.
Yeah. See, get a lot of stuff out of a turtle, especially the big ones.
Yeah. I work for the Foot Clan, so I'm a foot freak.
Yes, that's right. You are the leader of.
I am the leader of the Foot Clan.
Group that calls himself the Foot Clan. That are
the Feet Freaks. Yeah. So I saw a Ninja Turtle swimming, and I said, "Cowabunga, dude!" And I rode his life away. So be on the lookout for some sea turtles while you're there.
I'm excited for that. I like sea turtles. I like snorkeling.
Are you going to the Big Island, brother?
No, he's not going to the Big Island, brother. He's going to the most famous island, brother.
That's right. I'm going to Kauai, baby.
Kauai Island, brother. Yeah. That's a good one. You're going to have a couple of long board. What's the beer that's the commercial? The Hawaiian beer?
I don't know. I've only been to Hawaii once.
I don't know. But make sure you go to all the Jimmy Buffett spots there while you're there.
Hell yeah.
Please.
Hell
please.
Yeah. I went to a Jimmy Buffett concert when I was in high school. I got dragged by a friend of mine. Not dragged. I wanted to go. But I wasn't really a fan. His parents were going. And so we went and proceeded to watch a bunch of parents get drunk and dance around. And we didn't know any of the songs. Yeah.
Did they do the fins to the left, fins to the right thing?
Hell yeah, they did that. And everyone was doing it. People were loving it. And it got to the point where I would say about halfway through the concert is when other parents started getting angry at us for not like being more participating more and being more enthusiastic about it. Yeah. Like two, 15-year-old boys who were like into like Soulfly and Slipknot. Like, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Sit through Jimmy Buffett concert. Yeah.
I found out who Jimmy Buffett was when we went to Chicago, when me, Bryan, and Heiser went to Chicago, and we went to Margaritaville. And that's all that was playing. And I was like, who is this cruise director who has a mic? And I found out that's Jimmy Buffett.
It's good stuff. Jimmy. It's the worst stuff.
Yeah. All right. So, Reaves, thank you for joining us via time travel. Don't strain yourself. I don't want any ripples in the timeline.
Yeah, hopefully not. I'm on island time, so the likelihood that I would like do anything that would screw up the future or anything like that is pretty low because I'm just chilling out.
Yeah, Corona, lime, bliss. That's
coconut.
That's the only math you need to do on island. Corona plus lime. Equals bliss.
Equals freaking bliss.
Sand plus your toes.
Yeah, equals I'm out like a light.
Yeah.
Yep. Sleepy.
I'm so sleepy.
Sea turtle plus snorkeling equals
wallet.
Yeah, equals dead.
Well, brother, have a good time. Make sure you don't make sure you don't stick out like a howlie too bad. I don't want you to be a howlie and get beat up for being a howlie.
Yeah, brother.
Just let them know that you're a howlie. Just say apologize for being a howlie. I think it's when you're like, it's what locals call tourists.
Okay. Yeah, well, that will be what I am. But I do like to not look as touristy as possible, so I will be wearing all my Hawaiian shirts.
Okay. Yeah, really
And
fit
I'll
in.
walk around with my telescope, which is also a camera.
Pina colada in the hand at all times,
Yeah.
like the locals do.
Mm-hmm.
So, Reeves, here's my question. Were you able to check your mail before you time traveled? Did Tom send you anything?
You better fucking believe I did.
Oh,
Wow.
To all the
Wow.
haters out there who thought that maybe they would be getting a script because maybe it was a short turnaround time for Tom, in your fucking face.
in your
He
fucking
did it.
face.
And
He
yeah,
did
maybe this one isn't as good as any of the other ones.
Short
Who
turnaround.
knows? Yeah.
Short turnaround.
First draft.
But short
Yeah.
turnaround, and he's working hard on other things too. He's freaking Tom. So I did receive an email from Tom,
Yeah, brother.
another script. Yeah, he responded. As you remember last week, I asked him kind of like, what do you think of the feedback we've been giving you? Do you have any questions? Didn't respond to that, and so he finally got back. It's attached with the script, and he said, it just says "what" with a question mark. So I feel like maybe he didn't know that we were going to give him some kind of feedback or criticisms or anything like that, and also maybe he's not paying attention to that.
Oh, that sucks.
It does. I still think we should do it because I feel like this could use a little bit of, it's a first draft. Not going to be perfect first go around. So
Yeah, and you can't let someone who's there has to be checks and balances here. When you let someone like write a script with no one else weighing in, you end up with something like Tenet, which I didn't see,
neither.
but
Oh, you should watch it.
I heard it's bad, and I listened to people's opinions on things, and they said it's bad.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And liking a movie is also in the eye of the beholder. Because Brian liked Hobbs and Shaw, but he didn't like Tenet. So
I didn't see
that.
Tenet, but I did like Hobbs and Shaw.
So take that with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the other side of that is too many people involved. You got too many hands in the pot. And then you end up with, Gossip Girl, a show like that, where it just like reeks of there's too many ideas here. There's too many people that are trying to like pulling and tugging in different directions, which can be a good thing, but not always.
Not always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're playing tug of war, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Pulling and
Especially if
tugging
you're
is what you
strong.
want.
Especially let go, let the other person fall down in the mud, they get all muddy.
That's very funny. You let them win, but they fell down. So who really wins?
I remember when I was in elementary school, there was a tug of war on our field day, and it was between two classes. And there was a point where all the kids rushed in to go onto one side against the teachers, because it was supposed to be just one class against the teachers, and all the kids ran in to grab the rope, like, we're going to beat them. And then our principal got on the microphone and talked to us about safety and how unsafe it was that we did that.
What a nerd.
Yeah, what a freaking nerd. Doesn't get punk rock. All right, let's get into this script. All right. It starts on page 198.
Wow, this is a long script.
Yeah. Well, the last one I think was on 200 and something like that. So we got a lot of different, and this is just like one page or something like that. There's a lot of pages. So this might go on for a while. Okay. Page 198. We open in a dark, abandoned Top Chef set kitchen. It's dusty, old, and has been vacant for years. The Top Chef sign in the background is only hanging on by one string. Tom slowly enters with his helmet on. Rats scurry across the room and disappear into the darkness. He looks around.
Kitchen.
It's not clean. It's gross. And that's
Probably got like a C. Probably like a C rating or something.
Probably an F. There's rats living there.
Yeah.
The rats are everywhere. They're kind of lenient.
Could be a Ratatouille situation.
In which case, you want the rats there.
Yes, because they cook really
Well, just
well.
one that can cook. You don't want all of them.
That's true.
I think at the end of that movie, all his family comes and helps out.
They do after they get in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. So there's a good summary of Ratatouille. He looks around and takes it all in. He walks over to one of the counters and slowly runs his hand across it as he walks. He looks at his fingers, and they are covered in dust. We see a slight glimmer in his eyes, but he isn't crying. Voice
Good
from behind him.
distinction.
Mhm. Yeah, well, I'm going to point that out. Voice in the back. Look who finally decided to show up. Tom. Traffic was a nightmare. Tom turns around. The voice. That never slowed you down before. We see a shape in the darkness slowly moving into the light towards Tom.
Anthony Bourdain.
It's Carla Hall. Carla. Never thought I'd see you again. Tom. Never thought I'd be here again. Carla smiles. Carla. Well, come along now. Won't be long before they find us. Carla walks Tom over to the top chef pantry. All the shelves are empty and the refrigerator doors are hanging open. She rolls one of the barrels out of the way to reveal a hole in the ground with a rope that goes down. She crouches down into the hole and starts climbing down the rope. Tom follows. The next shot reveals them climbing down into a massive underground cave. Carla reaches the bottom and Tom jumps off the rope into a backflip and lands softly on the ground. He crouches down and looks up as the camera zooms in on his very handsome face. The camera pans around to show what Tom is looking at. It reveals a massive metallic shelving that goes sky high. It is full of ingredients and kitchen utensils in prime condition.
Wow.
The camera stops on Carla. Carla, smiling. Your time starts now.
Oh, God.
Tom-
She's giving him a quick fire.
Tom runs around looking for ingredients and cookware. He flies through the pantry at top gear speed.
Nice.
Yeah, top gear. He picks up Euro peeler, shiitake mushrooms, knives, green onions, etc.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Can we say right here, because you say top gear speed, after he picks up the Euro peeler, can he do like a Jeremy Clarkson and say, it's the best Euro peeler in the world?
Yes. That works. And maybe he could look to camera and do it.
Yeah. He's like, this is the best Euro peeler in the world.
Yeah. And I mean, he doesn't have this written here, but I think that's pretty much him listing all these things. It's kind of like he wants the brand and everything to be
Nice.
very clear.
Good.
So it's like they have to pay to be on it and that kind of stuff.
This movie's paying for itself, kind of.
I think that's the whole point is he wants
Yeah.
it to kind of pay for itself because he doesn't want to have to get any other, hands in his pot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, okay. Tom stops and picks up an ostrich egg. He examines it with pleasure. Tom, I know just what to do with this. Tom eats the egg.
I thought he was gonna make the perfect omelet. I thought he was gonna like prove his cooking prowess.
It feels that way, right?
He just eats the raw ostrich egg.
Mhm. It's a little
Okay.
weird. It's almost as if Tom read through this scene again and thought, "There's not a lot of jokes in this." I was like, "This is kind of funny, I guess," and put it
This
in
is
there.
cheap. This is like a cheap laugh.
This is
Yeah.
this is a laugh. There's not a lot of other laughs in here, so let's just do this. So yeah, he eats it, and I'm guessing he breaks it and eats it.
I'd assume so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I thought I did like a snake.
Oh, and just like swallows the whole thing.
Yeah.
He unhinges his jaw
Yeah,
and takes the whole thing in.
puts the
Maybe.
whole thing down. Yeah, the shell might be good for you too. Who knows?
Fiber.
Fiber. Okay. We hear loud rumblings
calcium.
above. Is it calcium?
I don't know.
Are eggs made out of the same thing that your fingernails and hair are made out of?
I don't know.
I think our fans are going to have to write in and explain that to
Yeah.
us. And I feel like probably the Foot Clan knows a lot about that kind of stuff. Because
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we do know a lot about that, but we don't know about ostrich eggs. Even though ostriches do have big feet.
Mhm.
They're known
very
for it.
big talons.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Big old talons down there.
Okay. We hear loud rumblings above. Carla, they are here. Tom, grab. Wait. Tom. Oh, I didn't finish this part. Tom didn't finish this part. Tom runs to the edge of the dock and jumps onto a jet ski. He looks back at Carla. Carla, grabbing one of the small blowtorches and a potato cannon. I'll hold them off as long as I can. Tom, Carla, I don't know how to. We hear an explosion near the ceiling entranceway. Carla, she screams, go. She points the potato cannon at the ceiling. Tom, my helmet. Carla, Tom, do you really need that? Tom, yes. She throws it to him. He catches it and puts it on and guns it out of the cave. And that's the scene.
What kind of helmet is he wearing?
I think it's the helmet that he had this past season.
The BMW.
Mhm.
Okay. The BMW.
But
helmet.
it could be something new. Maybe he's upgraded it in some way.
Maybe that's what he calls just like the beanie he was wearing in Portland too. He calls that a helmet.
I
Mhm.
want him to be wearing the helmet that Russell Crowe wears in The Gladiator.
Mhm.
That's a cool helmet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get too far off topic without talking about this latest scene that Tom wrote, but have you guys watched Unhinged yet?
Mm-hmm. I have not.
I don't think so.
It's the new Russell Crowe movie where he's like a big fat redneck who goes on a killing spree.
I have not.
I
seen
definitely
that.
haven't. Definitely
It's
haven't.
on
would've-
Amazon Prime.
I would have remembered watching this horror movie.
Mhm.
It's
It's a horror movie for black people.
it's a lot of fun. Well, he only kills white people and he kills a lot of
Yeah,
cops.
That's how they start.
Mhm.
Kills a lot of cops. I don't know why this movie was made. Like
I know why.
he's a character who's like fired from a plant who then goes
Mhm.
and kills like his wife and her new husband
Mhm.
and then like goes after a woman for being mad at him for honking at him too loud. It's all about this like man who's like it's just like who needs to hear that story? Like it's just like, you know, it's movie fun. So this is what happens when what happens in America all the time.
Is he one of those people that has like backed himself into a corner in Hollywood where people don't want to put him in the movies anymore?
I think he's
Yeah,
I
let's
don't
talk
know.
about this. Let's talk about this on this podcast.
He's I think people don't like him because he's like gained weight. He's like he's not aging as gracefully as like Hollywood people usually do.
Mm.
He's kind of like just like a fat older guy now.
And
Um
that's Brian saying that, not me or Reaves. Just so Russell Crowe's people who are listening.
Yeah.
no, I don't think he doesn't know. I don't think
Well,
he'd be like I don't think he'd be like,
He might not know that.
what are
he's
you
gaining
talking
weight.
about?
Yeah,
I'm not
so-
fat.
Yeah.
I'm the freaking gladiator.
freaking Gladiator. I hate you,
Yeah.
Brian. I'm gonna put Jamal and Reaves in Gladiator 4.
Oh my god, I'd love that.
I don't get a part because I said
If I
that.
could get myself cut in half, like that scene with the chariot where it just comes by and cuts someone in half,
Oh,
I
yeah.
would love to be in that movie if it means that I'm killed quickly.
Mm-hmm. I think that would be pretty cool. Or like to be in a horror movie where you're killed very quickly or something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty
Brian, I heard some scratches. Is someone or something unhinged in your bedroom?
Could you hear that?
fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was Ripley pushing the door open.
Oh, it was Ripley, the
Yeah.
dog that you don't like as much as Everett.
No, I love Ripley. She's a
No.
good girl. She ate poop on the walk this
Do
morning.
you have a tattoo of
Don't
Ripley?
do that.
I don't.
Well. You have a tattoo of Everett, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good. We're glad we're talking about that again.
Me too.
Get that out there.
So the scene that Tom wrote just now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing that it's the Cuisinart bots that are coming after them, or the
There's the Imperial Padma bots from
That's
the last
right.
one.
could be
That's
them.
that's later in the
later
movie,
on in the
because that's
yeah.
page 290 something.
Okay,
And that's setting up for the sequel, obviously.
I'm glad
Yes.
Carla's there.
Yes, me too.
It's good to see that Jamal's wife got work.
Mhm.
So I've known about her part in this. I just obviously I signed an NDA.
Of
And is
course.
that why you said the wrong person just to throw me off?
Yeah,
the
I was trying to
scent?
throw you guys off. I knew it was Carla. I was like, "Oh, this is my wife's scene. She won't stop talking about it." But I have had to sign an NDA, so I can't talk about anything more than the script part that we talked about. I can't tell you if she lives or dies. So
Okay.
she dies.
Okay.
No.
What you don't know is that she's in that photo in the beginning.
Oh no.
She's in the photo of the bald people
Yes.
in the beginning in Tom's apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Our
Yeah.
original bald person was in this episode we watched today. What do they do? I thought he was like gone from the Top Chef world. Like they brought him
No.
back.
Oh, what? Black people aren't worth redemption?
No, because he like
Forgiveness is one of the most powerful
Yeah.
things you can do.
Forgiveness is
in your life,
one of the
Brian.
most powerful things you can do. in
they literally
practice.
only asked him about the shaving incident, and
That's
that was
true.
it. He said
Yeah.
nothing else the entire, or they showed him saying nothing else the entire
What else is
episode.
there to say?
He also was accused of being too good looking to be on the show.
Yeah.
That was another thing. That was
Oh
about
my
it.
gosh. When Tom says who he thinks was on the show for their looks alone, there's no way he should have been allowed to have said that.
No.
The producer should have cut that.
Hey, Brian, be quiet. We're going to get to that later. Let's move on to a segment called Chefs I Prepared for You. Looking forward to Tom sending me, I think, a copy of the script next week.
Ooh.
Chefs I Prepared for You. This is a segment we always do. We talk about the food that we made last night and only last night. And we present it as if we were presenting it to the judges on Top Chef. I will go first. Chefs I Prepared for You. Oven roasted chicken breast, sauteed garlic and kale, and whipped sweet potatoes. And I must say, this was a particular great batch of sweet potatoes.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you whip your sweet potatoes,
Whip it. Yeah.
how do you just use the old fork and a little bit of elbow grease, or do you have
No,
another?
I'm pulling out the old Cuisinart double whip little machine.
Nice.
I really get it fluffy.
Hell yeah.
Is there any concern that you might turn into a sweet potato?
Okay, you're starting to sound like my doctor.
Okay. I was going to
My
ask if your
doctor
doctor has looked into
Did
this.
say I'm sprouting.
Okay.
And I was like, what does that mean? He said, well, you have leaves, like what looks like leaves growing out of your elbows. And I
Mm.
said, do you think this has anything to do with the fact that I eat sweet potatoes almost every day? And he said, okay, yes. We did a biopsy, and this is a plant that shares DNA with the sweet potato. So that's what I was going to ask you. Are you eating sweet potatoes every day? And I said, yes. And he said, well, you've heard the saying, you are what you eat, right? And I said, yeah, but that's an urban legend like Candyman.
Mhm.
And he was like, well, one, don't say that name 4 more times in my doctor's office.
Yeah.
Is it 5 times?
Yeah, it's 5 times. And he said, don't say that 4 more times in my doctor's office. And 2, you might want to take it easy on the sweet potatoes. You're turning into one.
Mhm.
I like how he pretended like he knew what he was going to say, but you had to bring up the sweet potato thing. And he was like, oh, yeah. I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, well, he was in the middle of asking me if I'm eating a lot of ass because I'm also an asshole.
I was gonna think that it was like maybe he got real thrown off by the whole Candyman thing, and he just like
That's
that
twice.
really fucked him up. Yeah, I know that's twice. And what is it? How many times can you say Beetlejuice's name?
Guys, don't play around with this.
Beetlejuice is
okay?
3 times, and
Okay,
that's
well
2
that's
times
2.
for that.
So no
Yeah,
one.
I just want you guys to stop playing around with this. This is not
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
This is actually turning off a lot of our black listeners.
Mhm.
So don't play this game.
Well, then
It's
let's turn
not-
off the white listeners and say Bloody Mary.
Mhm.
What's that? What's that from?
You don't even know what Bloody Mary is? Is it that
You
much?
literally
Is
just
it-
said, let's turn off the white listeners. So no, I don't know what the fuck Bloody
I
Mary
didn't
means.
think it was like that racially divided between.
What is Bloody Mary?
Okay, you've said it so many times now.
Yeah.
You go into the bathroom and you look in the mirror and you turn the lights off and you say Bloody Mary 3 times and she shows up.
Who's she?
Dead girl.
Okay. That's your guy's Candyman. Okay. Oh God. Okay. Let's not. We're at 3.
Sorry, I
Let's
should
not
have a
say-
mouthful of bees.
Mhm.
Let's not talk about. Actually, he would actually.
Oh, you said it. That's 3 times now.
Yeah, I know. Let's not talk about it anymore. Because he would actually be helpful because there's a bee problem. So people could use his bees.
Mhm.
Can I tell you guys that there's been a wasp in my house 3 times in the last 2 days?
3 times.
We must have
That's
them in
not
the
mistake.
attic, right? Like there's probably
Yes.
some in the attic,
There's
right?
probably a little nest somewhere. You need to get rid of that because it
But
can get
how are they
bad.
getting into the house? Like
Dude,
if they're in the wall, how are they getting from the wall
Dude,
into the house?
there are wasp nests on YouTube. I watch this shit. There are wasp nests that they will build inside, in between your walls. All it takes is a crack to get outside to be in your foundation, and they'll come in. I had a wasp nest in my old apartment, my very first apartment. I came home and I was like, "What is that buzzing sound?" They were huge wasps.
Vibrator.
And
He left it on.
and after I turned off my vibrator,
Okay.
I looked in the upper right hand corner of my window and I said, "There's no way my vibrator's up there. What's buzzing up there?" And it was a second vibrator that sticks to the window.
Yeah.
And then when
With the suction cup.
and then when I looked to the left, then I saw the wasp nest and I said, "Holy shit." And I realized my window in my apartment had been cracked a little bit at the top instead of the bottom.
I've been checking the tops and they're all closed.
And those wasps said, "Oh, this is a nice, cool, breezy spot to build a nest." And I had to destroy it. And inside were three
Delicious
things.
honey.
The honey that they make. Jamal's laughing because he's like, I've watched a million YouTube videos on wasps. I know they don't make honey. You go into my YouTube homepage, it's like, would you like to continue watching that wasp video?
You know, it just says monster wasp infestation.
The algorithm is like wasp video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Suggested viewing all wasp videos.
Most recent wasp video.
All your subscribed channels are just wasp videos.
Wasp extermination
Hey
video.
guys, what's up? It's Terrell here. We're gonna open up another wasp nest. Here
Let's
we
see
go.
what we got in
Here we
this
go.
one. Okay.
Look at all this
That's the
honey.
hand to the camera thing. And all right, we're here now with the wasp,
Yep.
and I'm gonna eat all the honey.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, maybe you should check your house, man.
I can't look inside the walls.
Sure you can. You can
Not
put your
frickin'
ear to it and see if you can hear any
Superman.
buzzing. See if you hear any buzzing.
The dildos are in the drawer.
Okay, well, turn them off. Take the batteries out so you know it's not them.
Okay.
And then see if you see any wasps. Check the walls.
You think it's the same? All right, I'll look. I have caught the wasp 3 times and released him outside, not smooshed him.
Catch
And
and
that's-
release.
And that's good. And PETA thanks you.
Mhm.
I just don't want to like have him tell all his friends that they're gonna kill me. You know?
Yeah, and that will happen.
I know.
They'll
I'm
smell
scared.
they'll smell the scent of you of a dead wasp and go into fight mode. So, anyways, that's what I had for dinner.
I was gonna say I don't want to continue the wasp talk, but
Did
is
you
there?
eat honey for dinner?
I didn't have honey for dinner. I was curious if maybe it's the same wasp that keeps getting back.
That's what I
in.
thought too. I'll ask
You
him.
keep putting it out, and then wasp's like, "Fuck's this guy's problem. I live here."
Yeah, I can't. I was
Yeah.
here before you.
I've been here a long time. You live in
His,
my
fa-
house.
his family hasn't seen him in a week.
I'm just trying to get to my family in the attic.
Okay. Chefs, I prepared for you plantains with jammy tomatoes and eggs. That's what I
Okay.
had.
Jammy tomato.
You know immediately the question I'm going to ask.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of eggs? What style?
What style of eggs? It's just like a I'm trying to think because you just break it. So this is basically like chilaquiles, just without the toast, the like chips, tostadas in it.
Mhm.
And instead you have plantains. And so like after you're done cooking it and making like the tomatoes all jammy, you make like little holes and you break an egg and put it in there. But then you cover it. And I think I covered it for too long because I think they're supposed to be more runny and not like glazed over. So just like a hard boiled egg really is what it's supposed to be. But this one, it got too hot. Got too hot.
Also, kind of sounds like shakshuka. But with
Yeah,
plantains.
it's a good point. It is kind of like that. Isn't
Sounds
cooking so interesting? How things can just similar things can be at different parts of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun.
Also, could be fool. Is it sort of like fool? Also, the Ethiopian egg dish? Maybe not.
All right. So, Reaves, that's what you had.
Yep.
Brian, tell us what you ordered.
Nope, we cooked. Chefs, last night we prepared for you
Je suis cook.
famous sweet potato quinoa chili. We do it right over here. We do it in the Instant Pot. sweet potatoes, red peppers, garlic, onion, your spices, your quinoa, your vegetable stock. You cook it up, and it's always good. Beans, kidney. So you'll say that there's no beans in chili? Fuck them people.
Yeah, you got to put some beans, kidney beans in chili.
I think it's Texas. Texas is like, if chili ain't got, there's some sort of saying they say.
Chili ain't got no beans.
It's something like that. Chili ain't got no beans. It's catchy, right?
Yeah.
You know what we say down here in Texas? Chili ain't got no beans.
Yeah. That's interesting. It always has beans when I have it. That's part of it. Otherwise, you're just eating like meat and sauce.
I think that's what they like, and then they put it on stuff.
Like on a hot dog.
You put it on a hot dog. Put it on tots.
Yeah, on hot dog.
Yeah. In between two buns, sloppy joes.
And since well, sort of. And in Ohio, they put it on spaghetti.
Yes.
This is always fun.
Like a
when we
meat
start doing
sauce.
stuff like this.
Yeah.
Because in Hawaii, they eat a lot of spam over there.
Hell yeah, I'm excited.
That's why Jamal used to eat spam, because he went to Hawaii once. And he
That's
came
the
back
reason.
saying, Hawaii, brother.
Yeah, I went to Hawaii and I came back and was like, I went to Hawaii, brother, and I eat the spam sandwiches.
Why do you make it Jamaican every time?
Give me the spam and eggs, yeah.
Can we talk about this bad episode now?
Well, first I have a question. How come we haven't, as a group, done a virtual watch party yet during this pandemic?
What do you want to watch?
Anything, Brian. With you, anything.
When the pandemic first started, I did one of those kind of things with somebody.
Who'd you do it with?
Our mutual friend JSD.
Mm-hmm.
And we watched I think we watched Mission Impossible.
Nice.
The one maybe the fifth one.
So, Fallout?
Maybe the one with like the one with Superman in it.
Yeah, I think that's Fallout.
Superman is in a Mission Impossible movie?
Yeah, you got to keep up.
Okay.
You really do.
We can just leave that on the table.
Yeah. And it was an okay experience. I don't really need to do that. That's why I haven't done it, because I didn't particularly enjoy it.
Okay. Well, why don't we... I don't have a segue, so let's just go to break and we'll come back and watch What Happened special. And we're back. Welcome to season 3, episode 7 of the show Top Chef. This is season 4, episode 7 of the podcast, and this episode is called Watch What Happened Special. It's different in that we're doing a watch party. They're like watching clips. And if you are confused at what I'm talking about, listen to them talk about it.
Welcome to a Watch What Happens Top Chef Extravaganza. Tonight, 3 seasons of chefs reunite, plus never-before-seen footage and answers to the questions you asked.
We didn't ask any questions.
No, we have all the answers already.
Yeah, Tom told us all the answers. We don't have any questions. So that's weird. Let's talk about who's on this little watch party, shall we? From season 1. Leanne, Dave, and Harold.
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Friend of the pod, Harold.
Super friend of the pod, Harold Dieterle, winner.
Fourth amigo, really.
Yeah, seriously, fourth amigo. If he was here, he'd be third chair, and Brian would move over.
I'll give it to him.
You absolutely would. I might give him my hosting gig. Season 2 has Alon, boo, Mike, yay, and Sam, which I wrote as same for some
You
reason.
did right, same.
Here's my question. Here's my question. Why is Alon wearing a tux?
So is Mike. And I don't know. I think they said it was like a bit, because I think they call it out and then they like stand up and do a weird thing, but like they don't ever justify it. I think it was just for them. They were just like, wouldn't it be funny if we wore a tux?
Yeah.
And the answer is no, it wasn't funny. It was dumb.
No, it didn't really work for me.
Yeah.
And so for season 3, our current season, we have all the people we really want to talk to: Leah, Sandy, Micah, Camille, and Clay.
Mhm.
And Clay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So that's who we have from season 3. And we don't care about any of these people because they weren't on the show long enough to even get to know them. Leah is the one who maybe has the most personality of all the people who are here from season 3. But
Yeah.
we need Hung. We need Hung here.
You need Hung.
Yeah.
They try and present it like Leah, and maybe, I don't know, when this was airing live, it was like a thing, but like that she was someone that people thought was going to go far. Maybe just because she won
Mhm.
one of the challenges, but I was like, she was
Yeah.
barely in the show
Yeah.
until the last 2 episodes, and then she got her ass kicked off.
The episode she left was the episode right after she actually won an elimination.
Mm-hmm.
So really took her far. This episode is full of clippable moments. I feel like there's a lot of sound bits and clips they cut to that we could have put in this, and it could have just been us replaying the entire episode. But we're trying to bring you the best of the best.
Yeah, it's like they're doing a freaking clip show in the middle of the season that's also a reunion for
Yeah.
everyone that's been
Of
on the
other
show.
seasons.
Yeah,
of other
it does-
seasons.
The premise makes
Yeah.
no sense, and
Yeah.
it
It really
sucks.
doesn't.
Yeah.
This season in general, because it started with like it had the All Stars in the first episode, and now it has this going on. What is happening?
It's very start.
They're all
stop.
over the place. They're all over the place. This should have been done at the end of the season, and you just bring in the All Stars from season 3.
Yeah.
So that all 3 seasons have the All Stars there. Right out the gate, Padma walks us through her incredible bulk and shred routine that she does to stay in shape for Top Chef. Let's listen.
More than I do.
I have to. I mean, I have a big appetite. Any minute I have, even if it's just 20 minutes or half an hour, I try and I go on the treadmill or I skip rope. If you look at this at season 2, I actually gain weight, and then at about the middle of the season is when I'm at my heaviest, and then I taper off.
I will say,
So that's a good bulk shred routine. I feel like you're gonna make weight for the competition. She didn't say anything about using like illegal enhancements, so it's
No.
like it's good, healthy. She's using time wisely. She's got 20 minutes. There's a treadmill. I'll jump on it. Like I like her routine.
It's
And,
good. I mean, I'm glad that you brought up the whole enhancement thing, because there was that one season where it was like she was there for the first 2 episodes and then she was gone for 12 weeks. And it's because they did a test and she got popped because she was using performance enhancement drugs.
Yeah.
She was getting too big. And then there was a season where she came back and she was too small, and I think the producers like pulled her aside and they were like, hey, why don't you take 12 weeks off, get yourself in a good place, if you need some contacts of people to get you there, we can help you. Then you come back, you'll be in the size that we're looking for, that kind of thing. So I think it's good that right now she's not using any of that kind of stuff, because you don't need it.
You don't need it.
Yeah, I'm just glad that we that they talked about what we wanted to talk about, which is Padma's body and the way she looks. I'm glad that they did it early on. They come back and do it later. I'm really glad that this is the content that I came for in a reunion of a cooking show.
Yeah.
Is one of the hosts' looks and her body.
Yep.
That's what I'm here for.
They also talk about Micah and her anti-Americanism. Remember her clip when she was like, I know you Americans like your ketchup. That got brought back, and the fans wrote in and said, what the hell's your problem?
Well, no, she covered for herself because she told us that she's an African American, and now we're not allowed to make fun of her.
Big laugh. Huge laugh.
It got tore the house down. I also love how they questioned if she was even South African. They were like, "Didn't you grow up in like Minnesota?"
That
And
was
she was
really
like,
cool.
"Yeah."
She was like, I'm both.
Yeah, they said that, people on the forums found yearbook pictures of her eating ketchup. That meant that she had actually had ketchup.
Yep.
I don't know what they were trying to prove. That she was lying about being South African? She's clearly not. So
But I mean, it's one of those things. Like maybe she didn't know what it entailed at the time. Like when she was crowned Miss Ketchup when she was 16 years old, she didn't know the like horrible background of the Miss Ketchup pageant, the like dark, racist, background of the Miss Ketchup contest. She didn't know it.
Yeah.
So don't cancel her now for what she was 16. She didn't know.
Don't go back in time and try and cancel her retroactively.
And that's
Not
do
gonna
people
work.
get that I'm doing the Ellie Camper thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
I
coming
think
across to people who are fans of Ellie.
All right.
So we'll move on. There's a
Sure.
montage of Tom Colicchio picking apart foods on his plate like a surgeon. Remember seeing that? I mean, he's like pulling foods apart.
Yeah.
He's like delicately like trying to see all the layers of what's in a meal. And we find out also in a montage of clips that Tom is obsessed with there being finger pointing amongst the cast members. So he's the one stirring up the drama behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one getting them riled up and angry at each other.
Yeah.
And now I'm wondering if he planted the seed because they showed footage that's never been seen before. And he does walk up to Sam and go, "That Marcel, he's like a bug, huh? Run with it." And he walks away.
So you need a little hint. It's kind of like
Yeah.
a bug. You could take that. That's for free. You can just take that and run with that if you want to. Yeah.
So there,
How did we not see that he says the whole pointing fingers thing a lot? I feel like we're pretty good at catching those kinds of things. I guess he does
Well,
say it a lot.
yeah. Well, he's a good writer.
This is true.
So maybe he like spaces it out enough. So it's like just when you forget about it, he brings it back up and it's like in your subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like you're not even counting anymore. He says it so often you don't even count anymore.
Right. Yeah. Unlike SmackDown, which they say 3 times again on this show. Clearly, Marcel wrote in a question about them being in a SmackDown. And then Harold said SmackDown. And then someone else said SmackDown afterwards. And I was like, when did people say SmackDown that much? Is it?
Well, back then they were sister channel to UPN.
Oh, yeah.
And so they had to promote
The Rock
WWE's SmackDown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's probably what it was.
You guys watch Young Rock?
I haven't yet.
I have not.
Saw the first episode. Wasn't
You
that
like
good.
it?
No, not really.
Okay.
Not good.
Good story. So we're 10 minutes into the show, and Harold hasn't said a word.
That's it.
Yeah, we're 10 minutes into we're 10 minutes into the show, and Harold has not said a word. 10 minutes on TV is a long time. But someone else is lying on the show, and this is Tom lying about his power that he has on this show.
That aside, that's the way the show works. That's what we're told to do. We don't make the rules up here. We just judge.
And that's what's
We don't make the rules up here. We just judge. Yeah, I'm going to call that's a huge cap.
Yeah.
That's a huge cap. I'm putting on a baseball cap right now.
Producer Tom, I think you do make the rules, actually.
Yeah, you're literally called head judge. So I'm pretty sure, and you have director's cut on all the edits. So pretty sure you do make the rules. You don't just judge.
I'm sorry, but the show is named after you. So
Yeah,
you
it's
make the
literally called
rules.
TC because
It's
you're
called
like,
TC.
I want it to have my initials, but I don't make the rules. Okay, Tom. Sure. Okay.
Yeah, I don't make. I just follow the rules. That's what cops say. I don't make the rules. I just follow them.
I don't make the rules. I just follow them. I want to say, as soon as I was watching this and I mentioned that Harold has not been talking, they've come back from a commercial and it's all about Harold and giving us an inside commercial for Perilla at the time. You know, I just think good for him. You know?
It is fun to watch this in 2021 when he's like, "Gonna be here a long time." No.
Yeah. And then after they do the montage, Tom pays Harold, our friend of the podcast, super friend, the ultimate compliment. He says, Harold's a chef's chef.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys already know because you can see I love this because on this podcast, I've been called a comics comic.
Yes. Which is the highest compliment
The
you
highest
could ever
compliment.
get from a comic, from a chef to be like, hey, the only people that would eat at this shithole are other chefs. Other normal people, which is the majority of people in the world, aren't going to like this food. They're going to hate it. But other chefs, they're going to get your shit, okay? And they're going to say, that's actually very, very funny. And he's a little bit ahead of his time.
Yeah. He actually is the best version of a chef for other chefs to eat their food.
Mm-hmm.
You might not get it because it's like going over your head, but we get it because we're chefs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and similarly to how Jamal is a comics comic, I've been called a man's man.
Mm-hmm.
Type of man that only men like.
Preach,
And it's,
brother.
you know, super compliment, you know?
Yep.
Women can't stand me.
Yep.
Men love me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Reeves,
Reeves has often said, haters gonna hate.
Yeah. Haters gonna hate. The haters are always trying to hate on me. It's all they know. But I keep on powering through.
So they are all laughing and joking with Harold. You know, he's got a restaurant. He's the season 1 winner. He's popping. You know, Leanne is like joking with him, and then she says something like this.
We have a question from Camille in Canton, Michigan. Is Harold dating Leanne?
That's such an old question. Like, it's ridiculous. No.
And then here comes the suspenseful music. Hey, Leanne. Why is that such a ridiculous question? My name's Harold Dearly. You might have heard of me. Crap. I won season 1 of Top Chef. You know, you might recognize me. So if we were dating, not that ridiculous. Oh, I'm a little brother to you. Okay. I feel like the music would have been better if it wasn't you guys doing it. I feel like the music would have been better if it wasn't.
Yeah, I think the problem with that bit is me and Reeves.
Yeah.
I think it was me and
That's
Reeves.
what I think it is. That's what I think it is.
It would have been, yeah, I think it works.
It works if I
there
had the
was
music.
music.
If I had the proper music, it works. I had a whole thing set up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we can cut that.
I liked it. I think you went for it. Sometimes things all, technical difficulties. Some of ones work.
Look, we got to see the audition videos of the chefs. It's interesting. I like the audition videos that they had. I didn't even know they had to do that. I'm hoping, and Brian's yawning, I'm hoping one day we release
Having a great
our
time.
Brian is hating this episode. He's hating being
He's
on
literally
this
yawning during this
podcast,
record.
doing this episode.
Hey, if we're putting you to sleep, go find the wasps, okay? Maybe I make a call to him. He'll sting your ass, wake you up.
It's not you.
No, yeah, it's not me. He's yawning right after I did my great bit, and he says it's not me.
Yeah.
No, forget it. I don't want to see Brian's audition tape. I just want to see me and Reeves. We're holding down the podcast. Some of us are trying.
I do like the audition tapes a lot. There's a lot of funny things. The one we see our friend Mikey again. He's like, he's in like that, like a residential, like a house, like a living room, and is like blowing fire, like from like a blowtorch, like in the middle of like someone's table.
Looks safe.
Yeah, no context for that. That's just was on his audition video. We see Dave in his backyard near a hammock, and he's ranting about how his hobby is his job and his job is his hobby, in like classic Dave style. That's also fun. And also Harold is wearing long jeans and flip flops, which is
The only clip they show of him is him going, "I like to sharpen my knives."
Yep.
yeah.
CJ regales us of a story of how he likes to pull out his fake testicle and bash it with a bottle in front of people. This episode was like way hornier than it needed to be for just being like a reunion. They kept being like a lot of like horny stuff. A lot of it was like weird and like stuff that you wouldn't put on TV today currently.
Yeah.
I think it probably, I'm guessing that Andy Cohen brings it out in them. I guess when you're around Andy, you're just gonna, people have a couple glasses of wine.
Well,
Let's get loosened.
This is an example of something that shouldn't be on TV.
In Fort Lauderdale, what was the worst part of living together with other chefs? Dave?
Oh, living with Ken. I'm living with Ken and Steven, and that was great. I knew I was on a reality show when those were my two roommates.
And I heard Ken had actual like hard time sleeping.
He had night terrors where basically he would go crazy and jump off the bed and fall down on the floor, and we had to get the doctor. It was bad.
You have to give up your...
So
I mean, that
it's not
sounds
funny.
awful. Yeah,
Yeah,
but the
it
way they
sounds terrible.
present it is very funny.
That it's like a funny thing that happens.
Yeah.
I heard he has trouble sleeping.
Yeah, he had night
Yeah,
terrors.
he's bothered by something that happened in his past, some traumatic thing happened in his past. He's not able to sleep, and he wakes up screaming about it, and sleeps horribly, fell out of the bed and hurt himself. And he's like,
Yeah.
What a fool.
They're like, let's cut in clips of him screaming as he's sharpening his knives over and over again. Yeah.
So since Brian's fallen asleep, let's just wrap this up real quick. Tom confirms you're not allowed to sneak away on the show and have sex. We
He
finally
didn't say have sex. I think he said screw.
He said sneak away and screw. We finally get the Padma fashion montage we were all asking for. Padma called Gail more of a slut than her. Okay. Padma's scars talked about. Ted mentions that Tom is a member of the bear community or a fan of the bear community.
He says that the bear community is a fan of him, and he kind of awkwardly changes the subject. Like he like can't deal with that. He's like, I mean, as long as it comes to my wife and my kids, I have a wife.
Yeah.
It's not. This is a very like sensationalized. It like 2000s reunion reality show thing where it's just like all sexual quote unquote taboo things at the time or whatever, and everyone being uncomfortable and dealing with them poorly. So no one really looks great in this.
And Harold can't believe that Micah didn't watch any of the seasons of Top Chef before she went on it, because Harold's like, I would have never done that. I would have known what I'm walking into. So that's it for that, and now we're wrapping up because again Brian's sleepy. So we're gonna do the closing bit, which
we didn't talk about the. I just want to talk about the like.
You're yawning. I didn't know you wanted to talk about anything.
Yeah, Yanni over here.
I'm sleepy.
Fucking Yanni over here.
Tom said that Candace was on the show because of her looks.
Oh god.
And who let him say it? Like that should have been like stopped immediately. I do really appreciate that Sandy stood up for what's her name from this current
Casey.
Casey.
Okay,
she was like, the producers are trying to make her seem like this is her person, but she's a great chef. And it was just so weird that this was how they were trying to be like, oh yeah, right, a little sexy in the Top Chef kitchen, and everyone's just like, no.
Yeah, we're all chefs. Yeah, someone submitted a question which was like, hey, do you just put certain chefs on because they're attractive? And they named like Sam and Camille, and I think someone else. Yeah, maybe it was Candace or whatever. But it's like, it's just kind of ridiculous.
Just say no.
Yeah, just say no.
Just
also,
say no.
Don't
Tom's like,
ask that question.
Yeah. But Tom threw the producers in the bus. He's like, I think they put Candace on the show because of her looks. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Very mean to Candace.
We also didn't talk about how
I do want to talk about Elia does an impression of Padma, and that's why she wasn't at the watch party show.
Mm-hmm.
She does that whole long impression of Padma. I'm pretty sure Padma was like, no, she's not flying out.
She's banned until we do an all-star season that she can return on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what was I going to say?
I don't know.
Now Jamal's very mad at me.
Was it something with Micah?
Yeah, it was something with Micah.
No, it was who was here? Oh yeah, I think it was someone submitted a question asking if Stephen was a real person. No, the answer is no.
Yeah, we know.
Again, Harold stood up for him, but the answer is no.
Yeah, he's not. We just listen to our podcast.
Yeah, just travel in time.
And do you think Clay is a real person?
I didn't. I mean, I did, and now I kind of don't. The fact that he was like okay with being on here.
That was Clay. There he was. He's real.
When they asked if they would do it again, he's like, "Of course I would." And it's like, "Oh man, no, you shouldn't. You look real bad."
Yeah, it wasn't good for Clay.
Yeah, well, he immediately said, "You can't make fun of me. I'm 25 from Mississippi. I'm here on the show."
With his friends he's like, "Are your friends making fun of you?" He's like, "Nah, man."
Yeah.
Shit, no, man. I imagine someone do something like that, I'd kick their ass.
All right, anything else?
Office Space.
Space.
No.
Great, let's do this new closing bit. It's called Brian's Best Take. This is where Brian gives us the best and only take that you need for this episode. So, Brian, the floor is yours.
Brian's Best Take.
Oh, no.
So it's like one take from this whole episode?
It's whatever your best take is, Brian. The answer is in the explanation of the bit.
Okay.
Wake up.
Here's Brian. I'm very sleepy. Here's Brian. Hey, okay. Actually, can you guys do the dramatic music for me while I Will I do this?
Yeah, sure.
So Brian's best take. This episode didn't need to exist. Brian's best take is put this episode to bed. No one needs to see this. Nobody wants to see this. I appreciate Andy Cohen coming out and doing this and hosting and everyone showing up and having a good time. But, like, I don't need this. You know? What just happened? Okay.
Reaves back.
All right. That's my take.
Everything froze for me, and I
All
got very scared.
Okay. All right, great. That was our take. Reaves froze because he's stretching the time bands too thin with time travel. So based on that and the fact that Brian is about to fall asleep while we're recording the podcast, we're just going to pack our knives and go. See you next week. Bye-bye.
And Clay. Thank you very much.